Uh, Hi guys, recording for Scions here. So the first hour we've played already, and your boy forgot to unmute Discord for the recording. It's unmuted now, so everybody can say hi.
Okay.
So here's what's happened in the here's what has been missed is the party is currently in the dorm rooms for House Valorian. We flashed back to the explosion that killed Kaylin, and long story short, there were some roles in there where Kreslin was able to grab a piece of the Moonstone charm that exploded. Marcel was able to notice some magical markings on the body and was held back by, like, Marcel tried to run over to Kaylin, and he was held back by Sir Barhold, who sprung into action to defend him. Or to hold him back from anything that could possibly happen from that explosion. And magical barriers were put up around everybody to keep them safe. And eventually the students are whisked back to the dorms. Guys, am I forgetting anything that happened in that flashback, since it just happened a little bit ago, that you want mentioned for the record?
Not until the dorms where
right.
we were.
I talked to Marcel, talked to Corvus, and
yeah. Sorry. I was
Yeah,
specifically talking about the flashback.
Up to the dorms, everything back.
Oh, okay. A flashback. Also, that what's the teacher's name who grabbed me?
Yeah.
Barhold, Sir Barhold.
Barhold. I got a bit of insight into. Marcel got a bit of insight into Barhold.
Yeah.
Shit's wild. Like, shit's wild right now. They're not panicking, but like shit's wild, and they don't know how.
It was unexpected.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
So that's what happened in the flashback. So what happened after the explosion in the last is that everybody got pushed into the dormitories, which I'm not going to describe again. We can describe them like the next time the players are in it. And they are having, there are a lot of students in the dormitories, and everybody's kind of distracted by what's going on right now. And the party, Kreslin shows that Kagu and Marcel are aware of the Moonstone that Kreslin has gotten, and they are discussing on what to do with it. And Corvus, one of the students in the dorms, overhears them, and then like Ezzytrot comes in and is very loud and starts drawing attention, like because he's being Ezzytrot, and Marcel grabs his beak, his mouth of the turtle, so he can't talk, and he's like, meow, 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 meow. And then Kagu takes a swing at him with a stick, and misses and hits Marcel's knuckles really hard. And while this is happening, Corvus draws attention to himself by hitting on the wall, because the party is starting to draw attention to themselves. Corvus is trying to draw them off the rooms occupants off the party and onto himself, asking questions and stuff about what is going on. How could one of us get killed here in the academy? And then Kagu and Essie are currently talking to Okasis, and Marcel had a conversation with Corvus where Marcel and Corvus shook hands. There was some kind of weird prickly energy thing that happened between their hands that Bigfoot unfortunately failed to roll to decipher what happened. And then they kind of discussed the investigation of this case of Kaylin being dead and trying to figure out what happened. And Marcel invited Corvus into kind of the group a little bit, and Corvus was kind of taken aback about being asked to join the group, and says that he's kind of like a better on a lone wolf, but wants to kind of stay in the loop and figure out what's going on. And that is kind of where we are at this point for the last hour. Right, guys? Did I miss anything in there that you want stated on the record for the dormitories?
No.
No, I don't think so.
All right, guys, you're caught up, and I'm sorry I was dumb and forgot to fucking unmute Discord. Apparently for the recording. Please never let that happen again. All right. So what's happening right now, team? Go.
I think we're following Essie to
Trying to find a room.
dorm.
We're looking
Sleeping
at
quarters.
rooms.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sleeping quarters. All right. So
But it's only us three, right? We kind of gotta like signal to the others that we're gathering.
Oh yeah, I assume we would before we go into the rooms or into where the rooms are. We
We let
gather up
everybody know.
with the rest. Yeah.
Got it.
yeah. So here's what happens is you're kind of exploring the dormitories and you're going toward the rooms. There is a plaque that clearly says boys' room that has a spiral staircase that you have to go down.
Okay.
Yeah. So is that where you're going?
I suppose so.
Okay.
Start looking and trying to find someplace more secluded to talk.
All right. So you guys walk down the stairs, and you're immediately greeted by the sight that you do not all have your individual rooms. It is like it's set up like a military-style barracks. All right, where you see beds made of dark, polished woods. They are arranged in neat rows. Now each of the bed has a curtain on it that is like red with a gold trim for privacy, so you could like close your curtains around your bed. Basically, you see personal weapon racks beside each bed that it kind of encourages students to carry and display their chosen weapons. Wardrobes are designed kind of like armor stands with space for both everyday clothes and ceremonial attire. In fact, the clothes that you arrived with are currently on like one of the armor stands. So you remember your clothes that you arrived in the Royal Academy with, they got changed up in the big feasting hall, and it got changed. So now your normal clothes are here while you still have on your academy uniforms. So if you want your old clothes, they're here. As you kind of look up into the ceiling, you see what is obviously an enchanted ceiling that displays constellations that have been associated with like legendary warriors, legendary leaders, and there are like motivational banners on the walls bearing phrases like "Courage conquers all" and "Lead by example." So yeah, you find yourselves in the military-style barracks. So the parties, for the sake of simplicity, the parties' beds are all next to each other,
How
except for Kreslin.
But yeah, I
Yep,
was gonna say.
Yep.
is there a lot of people here, or is it fairly empty? Or
It's fairly empty at the moment because everybody is still kind of out in the common room.
So when you
All
say
right.
fairly, is there other people besides us here?
Not really. No.
I'll just turn around and be like, "Here we go." Look at Kagu.
You did it, buddy. I knew you'd lead us somewhere.
Should note
How
that
do we get?
in the dormitory there are only 3 places to go: the boys' room, the girls' room, and the common room. Way to go, Ezzy.
We did it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Aaron. Continue.
No, I suppose the question is going to be, how do we get Kreslin here?
Well, she's with us, right? She followed us, or
Yes,
is she
she-
not allowed in here?
I think it's just, is it 3 of us? Or are we all here?
It's y'all
I think
three.
we're- I think we're-
Because we weren't
'Cause
like
you're still with
together.
Corvus,
like
right?
y'all
I'm
y'all
not
like
sure where,
y'all signaled. I think y'all signaled us that y'all were like looking for something, and then y'all went in the room.
That's right. Okay.
But
Alright,
So we're not
For-
all here.
For the sake of simplicity, there is nothing that says no girls allowed. There's not like a sign that says no women allowed. It is obviously meant to be like, here is your place for privacy when you need privacy, but you could go, you could go to their room. You would have to knock,
Yeah.
obviously. And, and the same is true here. They would have to knock if they came in here. But There's nothing saying like, no, you're not gonna get electrocuted when you step through the doors and are not of the appropriate.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So the signal I gave y'all was
question
like
is,
a "Hey, come here" type of signal. So if you guys followed or not, I don't know.
I'll wait a few minutes and then I'll follow suit.
How far away are they?
Like, how far is the dorms from the common room, or
Yeah.
Like, it's not super far. It's like a hallway. Like a couple minutes, maybe at most, if that.
If they're still in range, I will cast message and pick one of them and let them know that it's okay now. They can come into the room and kind of describe in short where we go to.
What does it
Or
look
when
like
to.
when you cast message, Okasis? Does
I
your magic have
mean-
color? Is it obvious? Is it how is it?
Pulls out a telephone.
Yeah. Get my phone out and I called no one. No. It would probably kind of want to have some kind of theme going on, but I think I need to think about that first. I'm not sure. How do you, like, off topic? How do you handle the verbal or the components usually used in a spell?
Do you want to know the real answer? Is that I don't care all that much
Okay,
about it
okay.
because it's just something
Then
to
for
keep track
next
of.
time, I'll have some a little bit
So-
fancier
but-
description.
For the sake of classes, they are going to come up when we do like in-depth explanations of spells and things. But as a DM, it's just one more thing to like keep track of. That's kind of like
Mhm.
a lot. So it's totally really up to the players how they want to handle that stuff. You guys will probably get component pouches and stuff like that pretty quickly. So
All right, I'll draw some like circle in the air, and you kind of see kind of a watch forming, like the sim or like the icons, the numbers, and everything from like a pocket watch or something.
units
Just
of measurement.
magical.
Mhm.
And yeah, then I'll talk into it, say like where we went or through what door we went, and it's empty here. You can come now.
All right. So everybody receives the message,
All of us. Okay.
or I assume that's who you're sending it to, because this
well,
is the whole party.
it's a cantrip, so yeah, I'll
Yeah.
if they are in range.
But what's the range on it?
Let me see. It is 120 feet.
Yeah, they're probably in range. It's not super far around. For the sake of the dormitory and messaging each other, consider it building wide. There you go. A little secret passive
Okay.
bonus.
All right. Then once we get the message, Marcel will look at Corvus and be like, "All right, we're gonna go." Okay, it looks like the dormitory is empty right now, so we're gonna head in there to discuss. If you're ready to join us and everything, basically being like, we're ready to go. So if you could
He looks at you, Marcel, and he says, "Well, do you want me to go in, or do you want me to keep an eye on the door and keep people out?" Yeah.
he brings up good points. God damn it.
I'll do whatever you want, Marcel. Just here to help.
I
That's Josh talking, being a
I
smart
know,
ass.
I know. No, we come in. I think it's better to have more of us discussing it and getting different perspectives to see what we all saw, different moments. Okay.
Very well. He agrees. And he joins you on the walk to the boys'
All right.
dormitory.
Yeah. And as I move, I see Creslin's hanging back a little bit, right? Paula?
Yeah,
or is
I
she
waited.
just
I
following?
waited just like a little bit,
Okay.
seeing you guys walk off. I'll wait.
Mhm.
After hearing the message, I'll wait maybe like 2-3 minutes, and then I'll start making
Cool.
my way there.
All right.
So you all make it into the sleeping quarters of the masculine variety.
Yep. And everything. All right.
So
All
you
right.
guys all get there, and you all notice Corvus there. Marcel, have you told them anything at all about Corvus? I can't remember off the top. Did you?
I told Kagu and Ezzy I was
Yeah,
going
okay.
to go talk to Corvus because he
noticed
obviously,
him.
well, I don't know if he said his name because, or no, he did because I think we all heard his name, but he
Yes.
didn't meet him specifically. So
Well,
he's
I
like,
met him.
Yeah.
yeah, you
Kagu's met him.
definitely met her, but he told him like I'm gonna go talk to him because he obviously did a distraction for us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring him in the book. So it's basically like he was like he probably knows.
It's not
and
that
everything.
much of a shock that Corvus shows
Yeah.
up. Is basically what we're getting
It's
to.
not. Yeah, it's not a shock that he brings him.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah. So you've all gathered in the sleeping quarters. What happens? Tell me a story, guys.
Oh, you a story? What?
So
immediate.
when Kreslin walks in, I just say, "Show them the rock."
Wow, you didn't hold off.
Nope.
At all.
I straight to the point.
Right. She'll walk in and she'll say that I managed to get a piece of the Moonstone that Kaylin was holding before it went down. So maybe with all of us together, we're able to decipher what happened or what might have caused it or who was behind it.
Does anybody
Yes.
have any ideas on?
I
I
uh
can just do an Arcana check, I suppose.
I mean,
Yeah.
first off, would be something like just have we seen it in some kind of book or
Yeah.
or
can I would like to
She'll
basically
take out the stone and then she'll I suppose she'll just have pass it around so other people can like look at it, see the damage on the stone, stuff like that.
Yeah. And at its glance, it's basically like here's a small like this. The original Moonstone wasn't even really that big. Like it would fit in the palm of your hand, and this has obviously been cracked and broken and destroyed a bit. It has like so it's a small piece that is um probably about the size of like the size of your thumb. We'll say that. So it holds in your hand, and you guys can at a glance check through it and see like it has kind of like some chips in it. It has like some jagged pieces like cut into it that are kind of like the telltale signs of magic, kind of like almost like veins, right? Like coursing through this stone and cutting chunks of it out almost. You know what I mean? Like almost like an outline of burn marks and stuff like that. So that's what it looks like with just a basic curious glance.
So I have stone cutting, which is like, what's it say? It says Whenever you make an intelligent history check related to the origin of stonework, you're considered proficient in the history skill and double your proficiency bonus to the check. Will that work on that?
Yeah, you can definitely
Like
give it a roll. So do it said what's it say exactly again? Sorry, let me
whenever
find it
you
here.
make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you're considered proficient in the history skill and add double your proficiency bonus to the check.
Okay, so go ahead and roll history.
Gotcha. History.
And I think what's your guys' current proficiency bonus? Is it
Plus
is it +2?
Yeah, it's +2.
plus
Yeah, so it'd be like a +4.
Can Marcel give me what's it called?
oh yeah, I've said this before. Like he'll guide anybody like with permission.
Right.
Yeah,
Like-
I'll take your guidance and then I'll roll 14.
And 18 plus D4. So go ahead and add your guidance. So roll a D4, 1D4.
D4.
And 18.
Holy shit. Okay. Alrighty. Well, so it's a total of 22. Sorry, no, 20, 22. Yeah, 22. Yeah, you are able to see that the stone to determine the origins of the stone.
I'm trying to like figure out like where it came from, who made it, how did it get those like magic powers imbued into it, and possibly who was behind it.
I don't think you would get that much. I think you'd get mostly at most where the stone origins
from?
lie.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
The stone origins are obviously of this area. Like is part of the mountain here, Kagu.
Mhm. Okay.
So that's
So
where
it's
its
local.
origins would be. Yeah. It is very, 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 very old though. Like, it's so old that you probably couldn't put a date to it. Type of old. But it has, and I'm gonna give you this as a bonus for being a dwarf, and I really like that you used your feature for stone cutting. It has been befouled. It has been corrupted. It has been it. If you could taste this stone, right, it would taste disgusting. Like whereas a stone before it might taste, bland. This tastes like this has been tampered
Rotten.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may have been great, a good thing once, but it has since been befouled.
Okay. So I like while I'm examining the stone and just like looking at it, I kind of like relay the information to everybody else. Just let them know that it's like a local stone found in the mountains around these areas, and it seems to be tainted by something. And that's all the information I have.
Marcel, did you touch the stone, right?
It passed through my hand probably. Yeah.
You
Like,
got that
I was gonna do a thing anyway.
You got that same when it touched your hand, you got that same like kind of prickly feeling as when you shook hands with Corvus. It's different though. It's a little different.
All right, can I do a quick divine sense?
Okay. What does divine sense do?
Give me 1 second. Divine sense.
I'm asking for both me and our viewers at home that may not have ever played D&D before.
So yeah, so divine sense as on my turn as an action, I can detect good and evil until the end of like my turn. I can sense anything affected hollow spell or know the location of any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. And I can everything. So is there like what's the vibe coming from the stone and everything else within 60 feet, I guess?
The stone is give me 2 seconds here. Is definitely evil. So you're definitely getting some evil vibes off that rock. Around you, you detect everybody's alignment. I would guess be what it is.
Okay.
And you reach out to Corvus's. You see his. He's not evil, and he is neither good. His is kind of in flux. He is complicated. Marcel, he is complicated, is what he is. There's layers to it, but no, he's not evil. And he's like your senses are. It's like it wants to ping him as undead, but it's also like not. You know, like it's of two minds almost. So that's what you're picking up right now.
All right. He takes that in, and now he's what? Yeah. So as we're like passing around, like having our little brainstorming session here, once Kagu relays the information of it's local and something like that, I want to think about have I heard it? Are there any specific like to this region, to these mountains, like stories, legends of knowledge of being evil or anything like in the mountains, like anything. It could be a fucking fable, nursery rhyme, something like that. He's trying to like knowing that like it's the source of evil localized to here. Or like that the stone comes from somewhere local to here. He's trying to like figure out if there's a specific or no, let me rephrase this. He's not looking for a thing specifically. He's looking for is there a specific place or something like that that might have a specific connection to like the Moonstones or a being or a creature or something like that. Anything like that around this area that could have been like, you know, kind of like a big rumor, urban legend, something like that. Or his historic thing. I don't know. You get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. So give me a history check, Marcel.
While he's doing that, I want to cast Detect Magic just to see if I see something unusual about it.
Okay.
And I'll cast it as a ritual, so it takes some time.
All right. I'll guide myself as well. And as he's like thinking about this, or like in this moment, like his eyes are like kind of like closed in like concentration, like as he's kind of like, you know, deep thought thinking and shit. But let's see, it might not be that deep depending on this roll. So
oh shit.
23 plus history plus 4, so 27.
That's a big one right there. Okay, so you pull into through your memories of maybe growing up as a child, you know, reading stories about the Royal Academy, about its founding. And one of the stories that you read was about this thing called a wraithhound uh, that was said to wander here millennia ago. Um, Supposedly, it was in an area near the Royal Academy called the Whispering Woods, and that there lurks a creature of nightmare, the Wrathhound. Legends say it was once the faithful companion of a powerful necromancer who lived millennia ago, and that this necromancer, in his quest for immortality, performed a dark ritual to bind his soul to his beloved hound. But, you know, the spell went horribly wrong, and instead of granting eternal life, it cursed both master and beast, fusing them into a monstrous entity, neither fully alive nor dead. The Wrathhound now stalks those woods, its form shifting between that of a massive shadowy wolf and a skeletal humanoid figure. Its howl is said to freeze the blood of those who hear it, and its glowing red eyes can paralyze victims with fear. Local folklore claims that on nights when the moon is blood red, the Wrathhound ventures beyond the woods, seeking souls to devour in its endless hunger. Some say it's drawn to places of magical power, eternally searching for a way to break its curse. Many brave or foolish adventurers have entered the Whispering Woods, seeking to end this creature's existence, but none have ever returned to claim victory. So that's one of the stories, and there's many, in about this kind of general area of the academy. There's nothing that you would recall specifically about moonstones or anything like that from your history, Marcel, and I'm making that judgment based on what I know about your character and what
Yeah,
they would have encountered.
No, I would have agreed.
Yeah. So, but growing up, there was definitely a tale of the Wrathhound. Or Wraithhound, however you want to say it.
Right. Okay, so he thinks about it. Like I said, he's deep in thought and everything, and he can't. He stays quiet about that just because he can't figure out a way it. He feels like he doesn't think it's not important.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks it's a factor for sure, but he can't connect it at the moment.
He also thinks it's
So
a really badass story.
yes, he
Yeah.
thinks it's a badass story, and it's a very scary fucking thing that he's like, I need facts. I need more evidence before I can like bring this to the table fully. As like a thing that might be going on. Also, this will be a separate one, but it piques his interest of if the marks he saw on Kalen's body. He's trying to has he heard of or seen anything like are there any records of like if this creature attacking people, if they have similar marks or like or the victims of it have similar marks, or if he's heard of anything similar to what like what that looked like.
Oh yeah, compared to the story, you mean?
Yeah.
No, not that you recall.
Okay.
And that I'm still counting that as your 20. So like,
No.
that's
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
definitive.
No, like
no.
I honestly like I thought that, to be fair, I thought that would be a completely separate check because I was like,
No, I
was
don't,
like, I don't know
because
if
it's
it's
still
really
connected to the
consistent.
story. Yeah, I
Okay.
would consider it. Like,
Okay. No.
so that isn't to say it doesn't exist. You've just never heard of it.
No,
within
yeah. And everything, which makes sense. The story literally is like they all died.
Yeah.
Because like we heard about it, yeah, but like everybody who like actually went there died, so we don't really fucking know. Like, and everything. So he keeps this in his back pocket, but what he'll say to everyone is, he'll like open his eyes and be like, okay, he's like, all right. So the Moonstone's local, it's been tainted by what we are not certain of yet. Is it President causes? Is there anything? I'm sorry, but you two seem to be the most well versed of us in. Actually, I'm not sure about that, Corvus. I don't know what your specialities lie and whatnot, but you seem to be the most well versed in what would it be, like academic arcana, I guess, and everything. So if there might be something here that you see differently than we do, if you could take a look. I don't know if you'll be able to glean anything else, but
I mean, I can try.
I think Okasis is currently casting Detect Magic as a ritual.
Yes.
So let's throw over to him really quick.
Cool.
So Okasis, you cast Detect Magic. That fires off as a ritual. And you do see a faint aura, but it's starting to kind of flicker out. Roll an Arcana check for me, Okasis, to see if you can not to stop it from flickering out completely, which you are absolutely going to be able to do with that.
Woo!
19 that you
guided
rolled.
him?
So you
Actually,
are
it's too
able.
late.
You succeed with your Arcana check, and you isolate a small portion of that magic that is on that stone as the rest of it kind of finally dissipates out, and you see the aura around it, and you recognize it as a school of magic of the necromancy.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell that to the group, and that kind of fits to
Yes.
what Marcel was saying already.
No, I hadn't told that
Oh, okay.
yet
Sorry.
at all.
I thought
So
you reminded.
no. He had no other evidence to like back it. So he was like
Okay,
holding
then
back.
I'll say that
Yeah. You say that,
without any.
and then he's like necromancy. Okay. Well, that makes me think of a very, very. I could be wrong, but there's a specific story of a being that this brings to my mind called what was it called, Josh? I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I got you right here. I'll put it in chat.
I'm so sorry. It was such a cool name.
You're good. Right here it is.
Was it the Shadow Wraith? Was that it?
Wraithhound.
Wraith Hound. Yeah, the Wraith Hound.
It's specifically titled "The Legend of the Wraithhound of
Yeah.
Whisperwoods."
Yeah, he'll be like, have any of you heard of the Legend of the Wraithhound of the Whispering Wood?
What I
Right
have?
down.
That is totally up to you, Kreslin. I'll let you decide if you've heard of it or not.
Oh, I don't have to
I
roll
would-
for it?
Not
I
if
would
you don't
roll
want
for
to.
it
You can if you want to. It's up to you.
because I'm proficient.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll for it. Maybe not.
I mean, that is totally up to you guys. Like,
Maybe some faint knowledge somewhere.
some pieces of it here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in passing. What about you, Kreslin? Nothing?
Maybe I've heard of it, but like that's as far as I go.
You probably know the title. Kind
Yeah.
of deal. I got you.
Yeah, so like he'll be. Well, some of y'all are like you've loosely heard of it and shit and everything. So he'll like continue and be like, uh, he'll be like, well, if you know of the legend, the creature, basically, a long time ago, a very powerful necromancer tried to immortalize himself and his faithful hound, for eternity. It didn't work. It instead caused them to fuse into a seemingly disastrous and dangerous beast that has supposedly been roaming around for a few millennia at this point, since the beginning of the school roundaboutsly, and has never been many have tried, all have failed apparently, and everything. My mind went to this as an entity. It's one of the few entities that I can think of near enough and strong enough to bypass the protections and the safety of the academy is nearby. But if a creature of that magnitude is moving and attacking, after all this time, that in and of itself is extremely, well, strange. It hasn't done any, to my knowledge, nothing like this has happened before. And everything we're saying is we don't have a lot of hard evidence. We have some knowledge, and I might be reaching. But if my guess is correct, and our knowledge is pointing in the direction it could be,
So what you're
this
saying is that a hound came out of that rock and attacked Kalen? Is that what you're getting at?
no, I'm getting
Is
it
it still dangerous?
The rock or
possibly. I'd I'd imagine no. Of course, this you probably know more than me. Is you
I, I,
felt the magic on it, correct?
yeah, I would assume from maybe Josh can help me from that the aura was kind of weakish,
Yeah.
that it's not dangerous anymore, but
So it was fading. Okasas could probably deduce that whatever was enchanted on the rock did what it wanted to do, and then it was fading away. Not that unusual for magic, with what little let you know of it.
Okay, so yeah, so then Marcelo be like, what I'm trying to get at is this: the being that I'm talking of has been around for millennia, and it hasn't, to my knowledge, made a specific move like this at all. So why now, and why get step, unless it was a targeted strike by something? Something made a decision to make this move, to make this attack. And if I'm right,
either that or what I was thinking, if they do it at this place, at this moment where everybody is around it, it feels to me like this could be also a message. Like,
exactly, this
But
could be the beginning.
why Kalen out of
yeah, that
everybody?
that I don't know.
That I don't know. we need more information on him, on the situation, on what was surroundings, his background, everything. Like, there's too many unknowns. But what I feel at this moment, based on the information we have gathered right now, it seems what I feel right now, based on my instincts and everything we've uncovered, is something wants to attack this place and is basically sent a message saying that it can and will do that. It can hit us. We are not completely protected in this place. Is what I feel like the message was supposed to send, is that this place is not infallible. It can be targeted.
So how do
Right.
we find this skip?
Maybe the next
entity?
step could be to talk to his sister. She is
True.
still
I think,
available to talk to. Maybe give it some time.
yeah, I think, yes. Okay, I think if some of us should talk to the sister, I believe we have somebody in our dormitory as now who she seemed to know him in some capacity. So maybe we can talk with her a little bit and get a little bit more information as well. The situation is complex, obviously, and what we're trying to do is listen. I can only speak for myself in this situation. I personally want to continue trying to like uncover what I can and figure out what's happening right now. But obviously, this seemed, even right now, it seems like the farther we go down, more dangerous the situation is going to be. So if anybody does it, we've only just met a few hours ago. So if anybody doesn't want to continue forward, or you'd rather not continue to help in the investigation or anything, that's perfectly fine. And everything. I don't want anyone here to feel like there's any need to continue forward in this task if you don't want to.
Just point me towards the danger and I'm going towards it.
I don't know if that is also the correct answer to the situation, but I love and respect the enthusiasm.
I mean,
All I
you
know
just
is that one of our classmates is down and we've got to get to the bottom of this.
you just said that if this happens at this place, we are probably not safe forever. Then
Yeah,
this should also push us to find out what's really happening. So
it's true. But
we hopefully can feel safe again, or at least protect not only us, but our classmates or future classmates, and maybe everybody here.
I agree. So should we go talk to Kaylin's sister or
well, I don't think we should talk to anyone tonight, at least. Everything's just happened. The death has just happened. We need to give some time. If we come immediately after, she's mourning at this moment. And
you're right?
God damn it, it's too late. I want to do it, but it's too late. It's whatever. I
To
wanted to do it.
to
I wanted
re-
to inside check the sister. But
to get to that point, I want to say, like, none of you have seen her, by the way. She's not in the dormitory.
yeah, she's not. I know she's not in our dorm. I remember that.
Okay, I just want to make that.
Kaylin.
I couldn't remember.
That's what that's why he's also like he specifically he was talking about the girl in our dorms. He's like,
I got you. I got you.
we can't talk to anybody tonight specifically because shit just happened. It's crazy. But the sister, yes, she's in a different in a different house than us, so we'll have to talk to her at a different point or find out a way to speak to her at a different point, if that. But Essie, Crescent, are both of you fine? Do you want to still be a part of this, or to continue forward?
I'm in.
I can't leave you guys alone. You may need my help.
That is
So
true.
I'm in.
I appreciate it. More of it.
Corvus looks over at you, Marcel, and says, "That was well said. I know a lot of you don't know me or haven't had an opportunity to speak with me yet, but regardless, we're in the same house now, and Kaylin was one of us. So you can count me in."
All right.
As he's
do
saying
it.
that, I kind of like just smile, look at him, pull out a piece of bread, and just toss it to him. Just like as a nod to our history of meeting.
He catches it and takes a bite and gives you a wink.
I
I
just
slap it out of
smile.
his hand. I slap it out of his hand before he can bite it because it's been in his fucking pants. I
Hey,
slap it out of his fucking hand before he can bite it. I'm not
I
letting
have-
him eat your fucking
I
nutsack.
I have very clean pants. All right,
It was in your pants. I'm not.
it's not in my pants.
was-
It's in my pocket. All right, it's nice and safe in there.
I remember you specifically being like it's in, and I was like, I'm not
No,
letting him just.
It's
bite
not in my
this.
pants.
Okay, if it's in a pocket, sure. But I'm just like,
Pocket bread.
I would not.
We just fucking
Uh,
stuff it in my pants.
If by chance any random artist out there, I would love for you to draw this scene of just Kagu throwing bread to Corvus and Marcel trying to knock it out of his hand. Oh, it would be so good.
But yeah. Can I do quick last little
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
insight on
Corvus?
Corvus, yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
and everything.
Yeah. Fire away, Chief.
He's basically just like knowing how like standoffish he was beforehand, and everything. After our discussion and everything and all the shit you said, he just wants to like get a read to make sure he's like
On the up and up.
yeah, that like
Yeah.
we're in it, everything. I'll guide myself, and as I'm like turning the look, I like as like the blink happens as I'm like turning the look, I'll like cast the spell, and we'll see what happens. Insight and me have a very terrible relationship. I need to be clear about this to everybody. Me and Insight and Perception have a relationship of hatred where we don't like each other. Like I don't like
that.
rolling it, and it doesn't like giving me anything.
So that's an 8, right? Total?
Yes, total 8.
He seems to be honest, forthright, and honest. Seems to be.
Yeah, he just takes it as we're building trust with each other at this moment.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody's done anything to break it. Nobody's done anything suspicious. He's just keeping on toes. On his toes. So all right. So now that we've done that, all right. Now that we discussed and figured.
As you start to talk, Marcel, a chime signals throughout the dormitory, and you hear a voice, specifically Headmistress Tola's voice echo kind of throughout every room in the dormitory that says, "Students, I know today was a tragedy, but we can't let that distract or detract from why you are here. You are Scions, heirs to your house, and people will die around you. So, with some reluctance, we are going to continue on with the academy this year. And the best advice I can give you is if you want to talk about what happened or need help processing with what happened, to meet with any of your professors, and we will be available to you in that time. But for now, I would recommend getting a good night's sleep and be prepared for tomorrow's first day of classes. That's all I have to say. I recommend sleep now. It is
Yep.
probably like 2 in the morning, to be honest with you, at this point, with everything that's transpired.
All right.
I
there anything-
suppose we
Oop.
can pick this up tomorrow.
I
Yes.
agree.
Rest would be beneficial to us all. So I guess we can talk more tomorrow and try to devise a game plan going forward. And like, I guess like as people like start filing in, Marcelo will be like, "Oh, all right," as we like starting to wind down, and everything. He'll be like, "All right, good. I guess." He wants to, as like people start filing into the boys' dormitory to like sleep. He wants to kind of like catch a vibe of everybody, and before that, whenever like Kreslin starts to, go to her dorm, he he'll like, as she's like leaving, he'll be like, "Hey, it was good thinking, grabbing the stone. That was really amazing, like what to do, and to be able to think about that in the moment and get to it and everything. Thank you, because you're the only. Because of that, we have something to go off with. So I appreciate your resourcefulness in that moment a lot. Everything.
Thank you. We didn't know Kalen that for that long, but I feel as though we owe it to him, almost. Get closer to the reasonings of why the things that
agree.
happened, why they happened.
I agree. You owe him that much. Nothing else. Anyway, you hopefully have a good night's rest, and we'll talk more in the morning.
Same to you.
Before we all go to bed, a question into the group: who will keep the stone? Will
Considering-
Kreslin hold on to it?
Maybe I should hold on to it.
Yeah, Kreslin,
Okay,
like,
then I will guide her back to her dorm room. And on the way, I say to her that I want to put some kind of protection around her sleeping area. So, in case somebody tries to take it away, in case somebody tries to do anything, we will get notified, or at least there will be an alarm. And that way we know, even though we are not sleeping in the same room, because we have each other in the same room and you are alone here. That's why this might be a good idea. So we can help you if something would have happened, because we don't know the situation yet.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Then I would set or use my spell alarm and put like an area around her bed to set off an alarm in my mind when something is about to enter there.
Well, first of all, I need to describe the ladies' sleep, or sorry, the feminine sleeping quarters, to them, because it is a little different. It is similar in theme to the masculine one, but it has its own unique touches. So the beds here are slightly more ornate than the masculine versions of the boys' sleeping quarters, or sorry, the masculine sleeping quarters, with carved lioness figurines on the posts. And instead of weapon racks, there are elegant stands for displaying ceremonial armor around the beds. The vanities in this part of the dormitories double as strategy desks, with with mirrors framed by maps and tactical diagrams. And there is also a shared walk-in closet that is designed to look like a royal armory. There's gowns and robes hanging alongside ceremonial weapons and armor. The walls feature portraits of famous feminine warriors and leaders from House Valorion's history. And really, both of the sleeping quarters have large windows that offer kind of like a panoramic view of the academy training grounds, and it serves kind of like as a constant reminder of the house's value of courage and leadership and martial prowess. The dorms as a whole were obviously designed to create an environment that honors the High King Valorian, who was the inspiration of this house. So yeah, there are the sleeping quarters described.
Jeez. Does their bathroom have a couch too?
Are you jealous?
It sounds better than ours.
So, before Akassis casts the spell as a whole, like around my bed, maybe it could be like on like a tiny box I have, like, because we have our own chests and stuff where we have like a bunch of like clothes and knickknacks and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could put it like the alarm on the box itself.
Yeah, sure.
So like in this box, there's just like a bunch of like loose leaf paper, just like, and like letters and just like odd bits in there. And then I'll also put, as I'm putting it in, I'm putting my Moonstone on top of it just to cover it inside the box.
I forgot we had moonstones.
Yeah, you
so
guys still have them.
I'm gonna put mine in just to cover the broken one, and then I'll put the pieces of paper on top of that, close it, put in the I'll have him cast a spell, and then I'm gonna put it inside my chest.
Okay.
Then I'll change the spell. Well, I'm not sure if I can do both, like an audible alarm and a mental one.
I think it's one or the other, right?
You choose. Oh yeah, it says whether the alarm. Then I'll do probably audible one, maybe.
Yeah, because she's gonna be by herself, and if you do it
Well, yeah. The thing is, when I do the mental alarm, I can bring you all with me. But if I do an audible alarm, she wakes up and can do something about it. That's
So should I not have it in the box, and should I just have it close to my person instead?
Use it safe.
well. The one thing is, you will be alone, but you can act immediately, and the other one, you will not be alone, but we will take some time until we get here. Those are the two pro and contra.
I think I would rather be alerted and then be able to somehow get your
You-
guys' attention.
Do you have a way to signal us?
I can.
Yell.
I can yell 3 times as loud as normal for a minute. If anything.
For a minute.
Okay, then we'll do that. Audible. And before I go to bed, I will cast Find Familiar and have a little guard dog and position it, since it can only go 100 feet of me. I will put it like somewhere near her room so that maybe the dog will hear when she screams or whatever and then notify us.
I demand you describe this dog familiar to me in great detail. What I want
In great
breed.
detail.
Yeah, I want to know. Is it a corgi? Is it a little corgi
Mm,
dog?
No,
Well,
I feel like
damn it, Phenom! I'm not giving you inspiration then.
the first just mind image I had in my mind was I'm not sure how it's called, the rescue dogs in snow areas that had like
Oh, I know exactly what
inconveniences
you're talking
often,
about.
the one with the keg, like
Yeah,
like that was the first
I
image
forget what they're
had.
called too, but I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Let's say that, like a puffy, big, furry dog, long hair, long ears, and just yeah, I would say a calm. I don't know how you said calm vibe around it.
I got you.
Just a big, fluffy, cuddly guard dog.
Bernese? Is it like a Bernese?
Is it like what I put in the general chat in Discord?
think
Does it
so.
look like that?
Well, yeah. I feel like that's pretty good.
All right. Anything else before bed? Anybody?
Uh,
No.
I guess no. He's just kind of like
Ma-
muling over the day. Takes a little minute. It says a couple words to up high and then goes to bed. Yeah.
Okay.
Since
I'm already-
Akasis has made me very wary about me being alone, I'm gonna sleep with my dagger underneath my pillow.
Okay.
Well, you're not
That's good on
necessarily
you.
alone, right?
There's other
You're with,
ladies,
yeah.
or sorry,
Yeah, but
other
like
feminine. God damn it.
party wise.
Party wise.
And you don't know nobody over there. You ain't talked to nobody over there,
I
right?
have not. So
Okay. I'm already snoring at this point, so.
All right. Ezitra or Okasis, any bedtime rituals you do before going to sleep?
I don't really wear a whole lot anyway, so I take off my belt and my staff and everything. I put that down, and then I crawl into my bed and pull myself into my shell.
I don't know why I thought you were about to say I take off my shell.
Take it off and put it on. No, I realize
I was like, what?
No, I close up into my shell and I'm gonna sleep inside it, but it's like sitting on top of a bed. I'm assuming they're not bunk beds, right?
No.
Okay.
You guys have curtains you can close as well on your beds.
are the curtains like sheer or are they like
No.
block out?
They are privacy curtains. They are
Okay.
specifically.
I will draw mine.
You could even tie them from inside as like a little extra layer of like security. I mean, it would take Look, if somebody had a sword, they could cut through them. But if somebody was just like trying to push in on them or something, it'd be hard to get through. If you had them tied up, you know, that type of stuff.
I leave mine open.
I didn't do none of that. I just fell asleep.
Marcel goes in. He closes his and does a little he'll do a little prayer to his goddess right quick. Just like a casual, like, all right, where he's just like basically like, let me get some information. That's the gist of it. If you in whatever way you can to like his goddess, and then he'll like send a prayer up, basically saying that, and then he'll go to bed.
All right. You all go to sleep. And while you are sleeping, you all dream. Some are nightmares, some are not nightmares. Some are that message I put in the adventure journal that you hear. But by the time morning awakes, you have forgotten most of it, as is often the case with dreams and nightmares. And you find yourselves heading quickly to your very first class. The Fundamentals of Magic Theory. And we're going to take a break. We're not going to stop playing. We're going to keep playing if you guys are okay with keep playing. Are you guys good to keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do like an hour, yeah.
All right, we're going to do another hour. Let's take a quick break and get some water and
Okay.
stuff. I'm going to pause the recording, and then we'll be right back. All right.
Google.
All right. So the party makes their way to their first day of classes. You guys have first Fundamental Magic Theory. And this is classes for everybody. There's not specifically, if you're a wizard, right, you go to this class. And if you're not, you go to the other class. There's a reason for that. And then around 11 a.m., you guys have Herbology and Alchemy. And then you have a lunch break. And then you have a Magical Creatures Studies at 2 p.m. And then you have Physical Training and Self-Defense around 3:30 p.m. As well as a study hall / free time around 5 p.m. So it's up to you to choose how you spend your free time. But in the meantime, we're probably only going to get to the first class today. So you all file into the... You go up to... Yep, you're on the first floor into the Arcane Studies classroom. Which, I don't know if I've described it before, but if I haven't, here's a little description. This intimate classroom is devoted to the instruction of the arcane arts. The room has a curved ceiling adorned with detailed celestial mosaics depicting constellations and astrological symbols. There are bookshelves lined on the walls and that house ancient tomes on spell theory, ritual practices, and the history of magic. At the front sits the lectern, flanked by a large celestial globe, an array of alchemical and instruments used for demonstration. The tables are semicircular tables with intricate carved chairs that fill the room. It allows students to closely observe any mystical lessons. And there are faint runes that glow along the floor and window frames, put in place to contain any like misfired magic during practice sessions. You see Professor, I believe Anders is his name. The Dean of History, Professor Anders Farshield. Actually, no, not Professor Anders Farshield. My mistake. You see Enchantress Mage, Ileana Shadowbriar, at the start of the area. So you all take your seats I assume you're all sitting together. You can kind of sit wherever you want.
Sure.
And this will be most of your house is in this class right now, not another house.
Yeah, I'd sit with everybody.
Same.
Kagu, over here.
First day and we've already made it click. That's crazy.
The
I
school
rush
did it.
over. I rush over and sit next to Essie.
I'll sit in the front though.
Where are we? Are we in the front? Are we in the back? Where's people feeling? You said you want to be in the front?
Kresla
Yeah.
says she's sitting up front, so
Okay.
Well, I'll be there too.
all right.
We're in the front.
I'll sit behind Ocasas.
Yeah. I guess I'll be up front with them. I don't know if it like how it is. If it's like a desk situation. If it's like, like the long ass desks like professors have in like colleges and shit. Everything. So like I'll be up front. I guess to the other side of Casas or Crescent. I don't know, depending on who else is trying to sit by us.
Okay. Enchantress Shadowbriar steps up and takes her place at the head of the class, and she says, "Welcome, young scholars, to your first lesson in fundamental magic theory. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering why you are even in this class if you are not a wizard or a sorcerer or someone bound and born with magic in their veins. And the simple fact is that you are scions and one day may face these very powers that we are going to talk about today on the battlefield or in your royal halls or just in passing. So it is very important that you all understand, at the very least, the basics of magic theory and where magic comes from. So today we're going to begin with the very essence of magic itself, called the weave. Imagine, if you will, an invisible tapestry that permeates all of existence. This, my dear students, is the weave. It is an intangible field of magical energy that connects and permeates everything in our world and beyond. The weave is to magic what air is to breathing. It is the medium through which all arcane power flows. She kind of pauses for effect. When a spellcaster manipulates magic, they are, in essence, plucking at the strands of the cosmic tapestry. Each spell is a unique pattern, a specific vibration in the weave that produces a desired effect. The more complex the spell, the more intricate the manipulation of the weave must be. Now, listen to me carefully, students. I want you to close your eyes and breathe deeply. Can you feel it? The faint tingle at the edge of your senses? Dear party members, who feels the weave right now? And I totally leave it up to you.
I would
you
think
feel
I
it.
would feel it.
I would feel it.
I don't
Mhm.
feel it.
I feel it a bit.
A little bit. All right.
Actually, you know what? No, yeah, I'm gonna leave it to the dice.
I feel it 11.
11 out of 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this one straight to the dice.
You feel it a little bit, Essie.
Let me roll real fast.
Oh yeah, and you guys can take a long rest. You should take a long rest if you didn't in your character sheet.
Oh
That
fuck!
Yep.
Yeah.
that should reset everything. Sorry, we should have talked about that. My bad. There should be a button in there that says long rest, I believe.
Yeah, it's like a campfire or tent icon.
And Kagu, you should do that as well, just in case you spent anything
Mm,
during combat. Yeah, it's up at the top. I see it. It looks like a little tent next to a star and a fork and knife in your character sheet.
I think I did it.
It should say it in the chat.
No.
Says Marcel and myself have done it.
If you open your combat HUD, there's a long rest button right next to your picture.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I don't see it, but I'll do it for you right here. Damn, there we go. Oh, I sent it to myself privately. My bad. You know it works because it'll say it in chat. Is the
Yeah.
There we go. 7 seconds ago.
okay? So everyone is long rested. Sorry, just want to make sure you guys have all your abilities at your disposal. Going back to the enchantress, she says, "That, my eager apprentices, is your first perception of the weave. Some of you may feel it strongly. Others may barely notice it at all. And do not be discouraged if you struggle. Sensitivity to the weave can be developed with practice and study. And understanding the weave is crucial, because it helps us comprehend why magic behaves as it does, why some areas are rich in magical energies, and why others are very barren, why certain spells interact in specific ways, and most importantly, it teaches us to respect for the delicate balance of magical energies that surround us. Remember that we do not create magic, we channel it. We are conduits for the weave's power, interpreters of its endless song. Our journey into the arcane arts begins here with this fundamental understanding. Now, who's ready to take their first steps into a larger world?"
I
SC
raised my
raises his hand.
He smiles at you as you raise your hand. And you got a smile. He says, "Okay. Now, class, let's move on to fundamental building blocks of spellcasting, shall we? The basic magical components. Every spell, from the simplest cantrips to the most powerful incantations, require at least one of these three components. It's funny, we had this discussion earlier, Phenom. Verbal, somatic, and material. And let's examine each of these. First, there are verbal components. These are mystic words, phrases, or sounds that help shape the weave to your will. It will not be the words themselves that hold power, but the specific vibrations they create when properly intoned. This is why spells can be cast in any language, or even in incomprehensible syllables. The key is precision and intent. For example, observe as I cast the light cantrip. Listen carefully. Lux Illumina. As the light cantrip lights up in her hands, as she lights up a, like we'll say a ruler that she was holding. The words help focus my intent and resonate with the weave. She kind of weaves the ruler around the room. Next, we have somatic components. These are specific hand gestures or body movements that help mold magical energies. Think of your body as a conduit, your gestures as a way to shape the flow of magic. Precise movements are crucial. A misplaced finger could be the difference between conjuring a feast or a famine. Watch closely as I demonstrate the somatic components of the shield spell. Notice the circular motion, followed by a swift upward thrust of the palm. You there, Esitrod, I believe. Can you replicate my movements?
I reach my hand out and draw a circle in the air and then put my palm through it.
Very good. I know the arcane is not natural to you, but it's important to know these particular movements for if you are on the battlefield, perhaps, you might be able to stop someone before they're able to cast this particular spell. Next, we have material components. These are physical objects that act as focal points for magical energy. These can range from common items like a pinch of sand for the sleep spell, and you see her reach into like a little component pouch and grab a pinch of sand that she kind of dabbles around, to rarer substances like diamond dust for more powerful magic. Some spells consume these materials, while others merely require their presence. Here, I have a component pouch, and inside this pouch are various materials an adventuring mage might need. Sulfur, iron fillings, a tiny bell, and so on. You will each find a component pouch next to you. Feel free to use it and take it with you. So if you do not have a component pouch, feel free to add one to your inventory, guys, because you now have one. And if you want, I can add it to your sheets for you as well if you'd like. You can grab it. I believe the if you look in the items tab, there should be a. Oh, it's not in there. Fuck. Just make a note that you guys have component pouches if you need it, and you just use them for spell casting. Yes. I guess I didn't actually put the item in here. Hang on one second. I can probably get it in here really quick. Items. Here we are. Two seconds, my friends. There we go. All right. If you guys go into the items tab on the right and search component in the little search bar, and let me know if you see it in there.
Yeah.
If not,
Wait, what'd you say?
component pouch. Do you see it in there?
Where at?
In the items tab at the top. It looks like a suitcase.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Hang on, let me make it. You guys probably don't have visibility on it. You know what? I'll just put it on your character sheets for you. How about we do that? But not Kalen's, because he's dead. That ad? That didn't add it. What the hell? Oh, yeah, no, it's there. My bad. Okay. All right. Add that to you. And you guys will see it in your inventory. It's in a bag at the top. It's not actually like down there where it says equipment. It's just a little baggie that you could click on in there. I'm still adding it to some of your equipment. Kreslin gets one. Kagu gets one. Sorry, guys. I know this isn't very riveting gameplay right now. All right, they should all be in your inventories, guys, and you should be able to see them in your thingy-majig. If you click on inventory, right next to like where it's like right above your money. That's where it's at. It's like a little blue bag.
It says not equipped. Do I toggle it equipped?
Yeah, if you want to. And the way it functions is like she says. A component pouch is a small, watertight leather belt pouch that has compartments to hold all material components and other special items you need to cast your spells, except for those components that have specific costs, as indicated in spells descriptions. So, boom. And then I lost my place. Nope, that's not correct. We're... Oh, here we are. All right. The Enchantress continues on. Remember, not all spells require all three components. A skilled mage learns to manipulate the weave with whatever tools are at hand. There may come a time when you must cast in silence, with your hands bound or without your material components. Understanding these basics will help you adapt to any situation. Now, let's practice. I want each of you to attempt a simple cantrip. Focus on the components. Feel how they interact with the weave. Don't be discouraged if you don't succeed immediately. Magic requires patience and practice. So I would like for each of my players to make... The exception is those of you that already know a cantrip. Like, you guys can do this easily. You don't need to necessarily do anything. But my non-normally castery people, I would like for you guys to make Arcana skill checks as you attempt to do a cantrip. So just go ahead and roll Arcana for me. I'm going to call out Kagu and Esitrat specifically here.
Oh God.
Hey.
Wait, I'm doing self rolls. Sorry, I got a 4.
Oh, that's why it wasn't said earlier.
Yeah. By the way, Juan, if you want to make that public, you can right-click on that private role and hit Make Public if you ever do that by accident and you want to use that role. That'll do it. There you go. Kagu. Oh, it's cool, brother. I think I did the same thing earlier at one point. So Kagu, like, how do you approach trying to do this magic thing? Obviously, this is not your wheelhouse, but do you approach it with an open mind? Like, maybe I can do this, or like, how do you approach it?
I'm kind of well, since I'm more of a physical type fighter, I'm kind of like sort of interested, but not really in the mindset of really trying to do it. If that makes any sense.
Okay. Yeah, but unfortunately, it just at this time escapes your grasp. But Ezzy, you reach out. How do you approach your magical? Obviously not your wheelhouse either. But how is your approach to it here?
Well, in my pouch, is there anything in my pouch, or is it just empty right now?
It's got stuff in there, like all the basic stuff that you would need.
Okay. If sand's in there, I'm gonna take some of the sand out of there. And so far, I've only learned one, like, motion that I know to be magical. So I throw the sand in the air and draw the circle. And as I do the circle with the palm through it, I say "Ter Potentia" and shove my palm through the circle.
Oh God.
So you are you? Here's another question: are you actively trying to reach out to the weave while doing this?
I'm trying to do what the teachers, like, I'm trying to understand this whole new world I'm going into. So I'm trying to reach the best I can while trying to learn this class and this magic stuff.
So you feel that the motions that you are doing are incorrect and the components that you are doing are incorrect. Like you feel it through the weave, like almost like you might misspell a word or pronounce something incorrectly. The weave lets you know, like almost like an audience, that is not correct. So you feel the weave, and that is exactly what the Enchantress is really trying to get you guys to kind of feel right now. Is like feel the weave, like you're not creating magic, you're channeling it. Let it kind of guide you almost. So that's kind of what you feel with your role. Kreslin,
Yes.
I would like to know. This is Josh talking to Paula about Kreslin.
Okay.
He wants to specifically. He wants to know. Like I'm talking about myself in the third fucking person now. I would like to know what is Kreslin's approach to magic. Like how does she approach like how does she grasp it? Like she obviously grasps it. Like you could do a cantrip. Yeah.
I think she calls to it.
Mm-hmm.
She calls to the weave, and then hoping that it answers and it accepts her call, and then she just goes hoping that it's right.
I got you. What about you, Akastis? What's Akastis's approach to the weave and his magic phenom?
I would think it is kind of connected to the bloodline power,
Mm-hmm.
in that I don't want to say too much, but
Nah, I know.
since everything is connected somehow anyway, I feel like that's the origin of the connection to the magic.
Okay. I got you. Bigfoot, what about you? Like, what about Marcel? Like, how is his approach is different, obviously. It's different
Yeah.
than what the weave is.
Yeah,
But
it's completely
you
different.
know what the weave is. How would you approach it, Marcel? And then like give me a little bit of Marcel. Let me know kind of like his vibe with this.
All right. So, like you say, like for him, his power comes like a completely different source than this. So he uses magic in a different light. But so to him, the weave is his the normal shit he uses feels intrinsic, like intrinsic something he was born with, like a, a manual on how to you know what I mean? Like he knew how to do that. The weave is something that he studied a bit. Like the weave is something that he like sees as it's more of like a fun like riddle or puzzle that he puts together, and when he connects the like various threads to the correct form, it forms the it creates the spell that he envisions, right? It causes the effect. So for him, like messing with the weave is much more of a fun like exercise in like a riddle or something. You know what I mean? Like it's something that takes a little bit more effort, but is a lot of he finds a lot of joy in it.
Yeah. Okay. So that is the basics of your first class of the day. The Enchantress, so you guys spend some time kind of going through some of the verbal, some of the somatic and material components. You've tried to connect with the weave in different ways, and the final 15 minutes is actually The enchantress looks at you and says, "Students, I am available for questions for the next 15 minutes. If you have anything you'd like to talk about or have a question about, please feel free to query me."
Gotcha.
And if you guys don't have anything, that is where we will end your first class.
Essie raises his hand.
Yes, Ceci?
I guess before I get into this, like in our class, do I see like our whole house? You said, or like the class is not everyone from our house, but everyone in the class is from our house.
Everybody in this particular class is from your house at the moment, yes. It's kind of like
Do
that
I-
first day where you're all bonding together. The official classes are bonding together with your class, you know?
Is
Our house?
Kaylin's sister in our class?
No. She is
No.
not.
Um,
Oh.
I want to ask the teacher, what are your thoughts on last night?
That's a
love
good
this.
question. We're getting somewhere.
Her eyes kind of look down for a second. Not that she's caught off guard, just like she's trying to figure out how the best way to phrase her response for this question. It's not like she didn't know it was coming. She kind of offers a little bit of a sad smile and says, "Last night was a tragedy. Magic was used to take the life of someone, a young student here, that some of you know. And all of us professors, not just me, but all of us, are open to talking about that with you. So you want my thoughts on it? I think it is a terrible thing that happened. I think that while we are still trying to put all the pieces together, that I can't. There's obviously some things I can't speak about, but we want to find out what happened to young Kalen, who lost his life in a magical incident. And we don't want to point any fingers or come to any conclusions or worry any of you about, that you're not safe here. That all the professors here are going to do their absolute best to make sure that you are all safe here. And we want to find out exactly what happened, why it happened, and to take steps to prevent it from ever happening again, and to punish those. If this was an act of hostility against one of our students, it's an attack on all of us. It's how I personally feel about it. Essie, so those are my thoughts on it.
Well, thank you, Enchantress Shadowbriar.
Yes, and don't be afraid to ask those questions. They are hard questions. And it is totally understandable that you are young minds that are worried about this thing that happened last night, this terrible tragedy that happened last night. I don't want you to hide your feelings inside or to be afraid and hide that inside. Part of growing up is learning to figure out the best ways to express yourself and to not bury those things and let them turn into hostility against yourself or others around you. That's part of growing up. It's something that you're going to learn while you're here. It's something some of you are learning to great effect today, unfortunately, with the loss of Kalen. So we are completely open to talking about that with you. We are not going to hide secrets from you. You are Scions, you are heirs, you are the next great leaders of this world in your houses, and you will be treated as such. She kind of nods her head with that. Are there any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
No questions, but quick glance around the room. Is the girl who seemed to know Kaylin here in this
Da-
class?
Dalen Woodsoul, yellow
Kaylin Woods.
tunic.
Yes.
Yeah, she's there. You see
Okay.
her over on the side, kind of concentrating on a cantrip that she was trying to cast.
All right.
She kind of got like a little bead of sweat.
Got you. What else? Yeah, I just wanted to know where she was.
I got you. She's there. Alright.
And yeah, that's about. A part of me wants to do a quick insight on our teacher, on the specifically when she says we're not gonna hide or keep anything from you. He kind of wants to insight that.
Well, go for it. Roll if you want to. That's your call.
I will begrudgingly. Like I said, the specific skill and me don't have a good relationship.
Oh, that's what the hesitation was. I see. Go ahead.
All right, I got it myself. Listen, Paula could attest to this. She's seen how bad this is for me.
I will say nothing.
You gonna lie?
I will say, now that you've rolled, the moment you cast guidance, the enchantress looks at you. 14.
Plus 2 is
16. 16 total. She is being honest. She's not lying. She's telling you the
Okay, cool.
truth.
Yeah, you just wanted to know.
Yep.
Can I, am I able to reach Okasis in front of me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how is he just right there?
Yeah, he's right there. You can just grab him.
I want to tap him on the shoulder and be like, do you have the thing?
I turn around and
Considering the
I'm like,
fact that I'm right next to Colossus, I hear this. For
Like-
sure, I hear it.
Yeah.
I have this confused look. I'm like, what thing?
I guess I'm just kind of curious on if it's left in a box at the dorms. So I'm just like, I just kind of tap on the shoulder again. Oh, all right.
Well, I don't know. I'm still confused and turn around because when we were together, we said that she keeps it. So I'm like, he should know that. I don't have it.
Okay.
And does
Also,
Kreslin just ignore it too?
I also would not mention it.
Yeah, Kreslin,
just
what,
like, yeah.
what's your reaction? You overheard this. I want to know.
I stay focused on reading over like my textbook or whatever.
Some notes you made?
Yeah, I don't try very hard not to show any reaction to what Essie just said.
I really badly want to just go like, psst, but I won't. I won't do it.
This is what we get for being in the front.
She sat here first.
I don't.
All right, then I'll leave it be.
Anything else while you are in the fundamental magical theory class?
Nope.
All right.
Not for now.
Then the time passes, and Enchantress Shadowbriar looks up and says, "Students, that's the end of today's first lesson. I'm not going to give you homework on your first day, but I would like for you to practice at least some simple cantrips, and I would like to see that the next time you're in here. Thank you. Your next class is Herbology and Alchemy down the way." And that is where we're going to end tonight's session, because I know we got started a little late, and then I think we only had Phenom for a little bit longer anyway, so I think we are going to end right there. So I'm going to shout out my fabulous players for getting back together again after a month of not playing the game. We've had a lot happen. WaveCon happened. A bunch of us met up in person. Kagu and Ezzy and Marcel and I all met up in person with like 100 other people. And a lot of you are watching the VOD right now. I met there at WaveCon that we got interested in D&D. So hi guys, and welcome to the VOD. And I've been looking forward to getting back and playing with you guys. So just shout out to my players for being here and being awesome. And I hope they're having a good time on what we're doing here with Scions. So does anybody else have anything they want to say? Like, or like, do you guys have any favorite moments from the game, or anything like what's kind of interested you in this session specifically that you want to call out? I'd appreciate hearing that. It helps me as a DM to know what you want and what you might want a little less of or want a little more of. Let me know.
There's a monstrous necromancer hound thing in the forest that people ain't been able to kill in thousands of years. That's fairly scary and interesting.
I did really like that story though,
You know,
like the urban legend kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It was like, here's this urban legend, and is it real? It's like, well, a lot of people believe it's real.
it's like people went to find it, they didn't
Yeah.
return.
Yeah.
It feels like I said last time when we finished the tutorial, and now it's starting to get more intense, and we get somewhere.
For sure.
All right.
I like that everyone puts up with Essie.
Listen, y'all. Essie and Kagu are great as our duo of like people with no magic and shit who are like
Oh,
just
yeah, we're the
both
only two.
yeah who are both like the like super like at least so far seem to be like they have like they're both loud and they both don't really have discretion in their own
wild cards.
specific ways. They're wild cards that you don't know how they're gonna move in different fucking ways.
I have like a couple things I want to shout out, which is one is I really love Marcel and Corvus interacting with each other and talking. I thought that was really cool. Wasn't expecting it to happen. And the whole, you said Kagu and Essie, like, I like the moment where Essie's like talking really loud and like you're holding his mouth shut and Kagu takes a swing and you're trying to grab the staff and it hits your knuckles, Marcel, and it's just like, this feels so real. I can see this happening for realsies in my head. It's like these three goofballs are like, it's like one of them's trying to save the one from himself, and then here comes the big staff swing to try to stop him, and he wraps his knuckles. Like, that just felt so. It feels so anime, I guess, to me in real. Also,
it definitely feels like, and it's like, and the other like hilarious point to me that I keep thinking of in like the back of my head is like, I'm like Marcel is the youngest one here, so he's just like the youngest kid is just like all these people. He's like, all right, everybody's a little older than me. We all coming in. And da-da-da. It's going out of the like. He's fully forgotten that like already. He's just like just moving and shit. And it's like he hasn't even had the thought of like he apologized actually because he was like, I ain't mean like respectfully, I ain't mean to just like rap you like that and everything. But like it's in the back of my head of like they're supposed to be in theory more mature than I am. And then should know more shit than me, in theory.
Mhm.
Don't mean in practice it'll show up, but
Hmm.
it's fun. I love the interactions between everybody and shit. Also a moment for I'll say a moment for me I really liked. It was a small moment, but when uh when we were doing the like little flashback scene and everything, when uh Crescent like came over and like uh it, like tapped Marcel on the shoulder to be like, hey, I got something, like come over and shit. That was like uh moment I really enjoyed because like for I don't know, like for like Marcel's perspective, it doesn't like for what we've like known of like Crescent as a character, she's not the type to like initiate things
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and everything.
It's true.
So like he felt like really uh like seeing her like initiate and be like, hey, come on, and like take the initiative and everything. He was just like, oh, yeah. So she's because like he's seen her like in action, like fighting and shit, and he's like, she's a monster. Uh, he's like she's amazing, and now he's seen her like take initiative and do all this shit, and he's like, wow, well shit, like she seems to be like really good at this at everything. So it's like it was like a uh cool way for him to like he's getting to know her a little more, and he's like, she seems dope.
Oh shucks, thanks. Castellan was just trying to help Marcel get out of whatever situation he got himself in.
All right. Any other favorite moments from the games, guys? Or I'm gonna end the recording there.
No.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
Kago and Essie raising their hands at the same time, but
Yeah, that was
I think as the only members in the class to do so.
All right.
But yeah, that's all.
All right, guys, we're gonna end the recording there. Thank you for watching if you watched, and thank you to my players for being here. I love you guys, and that's gonna do it.
Thank you, Josh.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.